Hi everyone! Today is my very first monthly wrap-up video and we will start with October since I'm filming this in November. So I got my tea with my little fox, I got my books, I got the list of everything I read this month. I read 9 books including my very first full audiobook to listen to, so let's get started. So beginning of October, I was in Scotland on vacation and I was very exhausted and looking for a read which felt like fun but easy to read, and I thought, you know what, I have those books from Stephanie Garber, Once Upon a Broken Heart Trilogy, to read, and that's not the first book. Wait. That's the first book. I thought I already read the Garber trilogy, I know the writing, I know the world, so it would be a nice little brain break for starting a vacation. Of course, I didn't take all 3 books with me and I got them on ebook and read them on my Kindle. As for the airport and traveling, it was much easier. But here we are. I'm making a mess of those. So overall, the books, they were fun, they were light, they were whimsical. Stephanie Garber? Yes, Garber has a very descriptive writing. Here the mood was more a bit like castle-ish and winterish with some forest, so the vibes were fun. The book is fun, the story was nice, and overall I did appreciate the whole story, but it felt just a bit too YA for me. I had the same thing with Caraval. It's fun, but it's a bit too YA to my taste. But here I didn't mind because I was looking for like a brain break. So that was my, like some people read romance for brain breaks. I read a very YA fantasy book, but doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. So yeah, I read Caraval first, and I think that if you want to read those books, you definitely need to read Caraval first, especially in the first book. I feel like if I hadn't read it, I would be just lost about what's going on, who are those people. Is all that, especially we are following Jack's story. Jax is a big part of the story, and we meet him in Caraval. I know that there is some people who read it without reading, I'm saying Caraval way too many times, first, and I feel like I don't know how you did it. I would have had so many questions. Overall, it was good, it was fun. Honestly, I don't remember much about everything. Neither do I Caraval, like the first book of Caraval I remember very much. Here a bit less. The writing is very descriptive, so it's fun. But there is also quite a lot of repetition about why she's doing whatever she does. Follows Evan and Fox, and her surname was Little Fox. They're like Fox, and as you can see in the background, I have a dog, and he's our little fox. So yeah, I really like the name. She always wanted to have a fairy tale, and her fairy tale took kind of a bad turn, and she ended up to go meet Jax, and then she goes on a story. So the things that bugged me, besides it was very YA, but we didn't have many people from the Caraval books. Just that in the first book we managed to see a few of them and hear about a few of them, but I was disappointed. I was expecting to meet more of them and maybe also like throughout all 3 books to see some of them. And it didn't. There is some characters that we meet in the first books, and somehow, slowly, they just disappear, and you have no clue what happened to them and what's going on, and yeah, what's there after whatever they happen here. However, it's nice, it's fun. If you don't like YA books, then this is very, very YA, so you wouldn't enjoy. If you didn't click with Caraval, I don't think you'll click with this. If you are interested in reading it, please read Caraval so you don't get lost. I have also the very last book of Stephanie Garber somewhere here, like The Alchemy of Secrets. So I will try to read it by the end of the year and do a full Stephanie Garber review where I will also include the Caraval books, which are here. And yeah, that's it. That was my first book. Oh yeah, and my first read. Also, just so you know, if books are out, I have to binge it. Like, I don't know how people just stop in between series. I cannot do that. So here is my first read. So let's talk about the next book I read in October. I will tell you more about how I end up getting that book in my next video, which will be a book haul from my trip in Scotland where I bought way too many books. So anyway, the book I read afterwards was The Ordeals by Greenlaw. And I don't know, I got attracted to this book. I got it. I didn't know really what it was about, besides it was a school and they had trials, and that was pretty much it. And I couldn't put it down. I read it the weekend after I came back from my trip, and I just devoured it all over the weekend. It was great. I don't know, the writing was so addictive, the story was addictive, the pacing, I really love the pacing between, like, you go into 3 hours and you have like a bit of like excitement of what is going to happen, like high stake, and you're like, oh my god, what will happen? And it's speed up, and then you have a bit of quieter times where you just get to know them better and go around the school and discover some other stuff. It was really fun. At the beginning, I really felt like we were taking like the Gossip Girl characters and we were putting them into Hogwarts. Like, not the Harry Potter story, but like really the Hogwarts school castle. And then you make them go through a deadly trial to get to that Hogwarts Ivy League school where people are dying to get there. So that was my first vibe, especially the characters are 20, so they're already mature. It's not like they're just starting school. Well, that's fun. And turned out that the more and more I read about the book, the less it felt like this. Like, still the school building description, like I had the image of Hogwarts because it was castle-y and in the middle of water. So of course I thought about that. The story just took away on its own, and then so many things happen. Like, you have, so the trials, as I said, you have also some mystery, friendship, and of course a romance. Obviously there is a very good, definitely wouldn't qualify it as enemies to lover, but more as like trust issues to getting to know each other kind of type. They meet at the very beginning of the book. Both have backstories, they're in their 20s, so they already have like lives, already have traumas, already have trust issues. They both went to do the trials to get to that school for their own reasons. And yeah, just a lot of things are unraveling, and I don't want to tell you more because I went in it quite blind, and you know what? You should go in there blind. And the writing was just good, and the pacing was good. There is one thing that was a bit annoying, is that each time the girl, which I forgot her name, each time Sophia was seeing the love interest, she had to mention how handsome he was. So that was a bit annoying, but one of my friends in middle school was like that, so I'm used to it. Maybe you are that friend, or you also had a friend like that. But no, the really big thing that bugs me about this book, and I got so bummed, is to discover this would be only a duology. And how? I was ready to have like at least 3 books minimum. Like, it was just so good. I wanted more. I know they're in their 20s, but honestly, if they were supposed to be 7 years to get them their PhD or something in magic, it was just, I would have read it. So yeah, unfortunately it's just a duology. The next one apparently should come out next year. Definitely will pre-order it. I forgot to say, magic. Of course there is magic in this. There is a fun magic system with magic abilities, and I just love it. And she has other books. She has a YA series that I will definitely try. And also she has, I think it's kind of a cozy fantasy, which is set around winter time, so I will definitely be on my December reads. I know I don't do TBRs, but still, like, I know some books I want to read and to be in the mood for. So yeah, that's for the Ordeals. I just loved it. So my next read, or rather listening, was the audiobook of Bridget Jones' Diary, that I started in September, I think, and I finished it in October. For my job, I do a lot of driving, so I decided, you know what, let's try audiobook. And I decided to listen to the Bridget Jones' Diary because I love the movie. I watch it at least like once a year. Actually, I still have to watch the very last movie that just got on Netflix. Anyway, I watched it so many times and I never actually took the time to read the book. So I thought, you know what? It has a British accent. I know already, so let's start with that and see how it goes. And you know what? I was so surprised because the movie is really like all about the love triangle. And you also see her struggle with her weight and getting into shape and her work issues and her relationship with her mom. But like the main focus is the romance in the movies. And in the book, actually, there is no love triangle. And it's not all about that. Like you go way deeper about her relationship with her body and her obsession to lose weight and her struggle with her work and also her mother. Her mother has such a more interesting, I don't know how to put the story is way more complex than in the movie. And I got, at the end of the, I got really surprised, and it was also a nice Easter egg about Mark Darcy. Mark. Anyway, really enjoyed reading it. I didn't jump directly into the next audiobook of Bridget Jones, but I will read it. I know I say I binge everything, but I mean, I watched all the movies so many times, so I feel like I don't need to binge it, and I wanted to try some other audiobook, which will be part of my November wrap-up. It was really fun. So if you like the movies and you never read the book, well, go ahead. And the audio is really nice and it's British accent. There is so much more to the story. If you don't know what Bridget Jones is, well, probably you're very young. It shows so much. I feel like it was such a good representation about woman's struggle and dilemma and pressure about the married life and the work and everything. Like, if it fitted so well the spirit of the 90s and early 2000s. So if you're interested in a time period for a modern single girl in London, go ahead and read it. It was really, really fun. After the Ordeals, while I was listening to the audiobook, because of course the audiobook I was listening to it only when I was driving or walking my dog or just cleaning up around, I wanted a book that, I don't know, or again, I wanted something, I was still very tired, I wanted something familiar, and I had read the Meadowlands Chronicles by Lynette Noni, and I had the ebooks for the Prison Healer Trilogy hanging around since this summer, and I thought, you know what, that's the time. And I was just waiting because I'm pretty, like, I thought that I would really enjoy it, and you know what? I got so addicted to it. I started the first book, it was on a Tuesday, I think. I had a hard time reading because I was so busy, so I didn't have much time. And then on the weekend, I managed to really, really dive into it, and I finished it on a Saturday. I got so mad, so mad. I felt so betrayed. Like, I felt like she just stabbed me, not in the back, just stabbed me right in the front. Like when coming to hug me or something. I don't know, it was... After the Meadowlands Chronicle, I was expecting a heartbreak, but no, I just got betrayed, and I got so mad. So, of course, I directly dived into the second book, which is the Gilded Cage book. I had to check up the title. At the beginning, I had such a hard time focusing on the reading because I was just so mad and keep thinking, but how will things, it will be so bad. I started this Saturday, finished on Sunday, jumped directly into the last book, which is The Blood Traitor, on Monday. Well, what could I do? It was rainy, so all my horse riding lessons, because I'm a horse trainer, they got cancelled. I wanted to do some work on the computer and all the softwares were down. So, I mean, which choice did I had? I just had to read, and I think I read the most pages I read in one day. I finished the whole book. I read like 450 pages or something in one day, and still I did some other stuff too somehow. And I just got so addicted. I was dreaming about it. As soon as I was waking up, I was thinking about it. I just got addicted. I don't know why. I don't know, it was so good. I know that some people didn't like it that much somehow. I don't know. Why do I go read bad reviews of the books that I love? Why do I do that to myself? But anyway, I got so addicted, and Lynette Noni writing is just so, I don't know, it just flows. And yes, it's YA, and Meadowland Chronicle is also YA, but its characters feel still like kind of mature, like they are not too teenage stuff. This trilogy, though, I would say check out trigger warnings because it does touch heavy subject. And I realized I didn't tell you what The Prisoner is about because I assume you just know. But basically, you follow Kiva, I think? Yeah. At the age of 7, ended up in a prison. The prison is kind of, think World War II working camp meets American US prison. Like, it's not a Swedish Scandinavian prison. It's like kind of those two melted together. People tend to not live long in that prison and have life sentence, of course, and depending on how long their life is, when they pass away, that's when the sentence ends. Somehow she managed to stay there 10 years and still be alive. One day there is some new prisoners that are coming around. Things just keep going. About the trigger warnings, is a prison setting depending on the life you have or had and the people you had in your life that, or like your grandparents or something, I don't know. It could be triggering. There is also talk about drugs, talk about depression, self-harm. What I really appreciated, though, there is all those topics, but it's not seen only as the dragging into it, but also the reflection after it. It's like how and why you get into it and how to get out of it. So that I really appreciated. I saw not long ago that Lynette Noni was saying that if she would like to do the third book as Darren's point of view, our main male character. I know in her story she said that it's not happening anytime soon, but I would love it so much to have the whole last book from his point of view, because I would have wished to know what was going on in his head, because I'm sure it would have been very interesting. So if it ever happens, I'm telling you, I will get it. There's a new gorgeous edition of this Prison Healer trilogy and also the Meadowland Chronicles. It's not a trilogy, there is 7 books and they are all gorgeous, and I'll get them. I loved the Meadowland Chronicles by Lynette Noni. It was just the pre-ordering of her next book coming out in June, and obviously I had to pre-order it because I just love all of her books. I'm just so scared because Meadowland Chronicles, I got heartbroken, Prison Healer, I got so betrayed, and now Shadow Reaper. What will she do to us? I don't know, but I cannot wait to find out. So, should you read it? Well, if you enjoy Lynette Noni, if you enjoy good writing, good plot, good magic, it's not overly complicated. It's like it's not high fantasy. In October, my brain couldn't handle high fantasy, but it's just so much fun. I just loved it. The last book I read was Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. It's a very fun name. I like it. I'm just confused about the review. I did like it, but I did not fully like it. The story follows Elowen, who was bonded with 5 dragons when she was a kid, somehow escaped her kingdom. When we follow her, she's like 25. She has escaped over a decade ago, and she settled her life for herself, and at some point she meets some general from another kingdom who is interested to make a deal with her to help her get back her dragons, so then they can tear down her father's kingdom. She's supposed to be 25, but she was really feeling like a teenager. Like, you know, I told you the Prison Healer, like, they don't feel so teenagey. Well, she was 25. In the Prison Healers, they were like 17, 18. They felt mature than her. So that bugged me a bit. Main character, he's 29 or 30, and he felt way more like 29 or 30, like he was more grounded and felt like he knew where he was going. That part I enjoy more. The writing really bugged me, and that's why I'm so confused, is at the same time the writing was really good, but some parts was like not that good. So I'm just confused. Sometimes she was over-explaining stuff of, like, you don't need to say it, like you can read it in the dialogue that it's her coping mechanism for whatever happened to her and stuff, and it was just written down and you don't need to write it down. And some moments it was very good, and some moments she was really like giving too many details that you didn't need, because, well, I mean, you could understand. I mean, it's an adult fantasy, so you can see why the things are going this way. The romance was good. It got pretty spicy. I don't mind spice. I don't want to read it. I just skip over it. Here, the dialogue during the spice was just a bit cringy somehow. Overall, it had good things, and there were moments where I like, oh, I really want to go back to read it, and other moments I'm like, reading this currently. Okay, sure, let's go back to it. So I told you normally I binge everything, and there is the second book which is out. Seems better, like the writing seems better. Meantime, she got a publisher. Went to check out the book. At the beginning, you have like a really more detailed map, have like many more information about characters, about gods, about magic. Because yeah, here like you had talks about magic in the first one, but you didn't, like it was just glimpse and talk about here and there, but you didn't really have magic. In the second one, they seem that it dive way more into magic, which is way better. Just read a few settings, and apparently it's also a dual point of view. Seems fun, but I don't know, I just picked it up, wanted to start it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, I just don't feel like it. So I didn't read the second one. Maybe I will change my mind and try to go back into it after a while, because I did saw review that say that the writing was better, the stories was better, it seems overall better. We'll see if I pick it up or not, I don't know. Should you read Fear the Flame? Well, if you don't mind uneven writing, you probably enjoy it. I mean, I did enjoy it overall. If not, I would have not read the whole thing. Give me your thoughts. And if you read the second book, does it get better in the writing and in the story and everything? That's the end of October wrap up. Of the 9 books I've read, well, 8 I read and 1 I listened to. Most of them were on Kindle. You can always follow me on Instagram. I don't use Goodreads, I use StoryGraph, because Goodreads for me it's too many information, too many stuff, too messy, I don't like it. You can find my StoryGraph links. Let me know, did you read any of those books? Did you like any of it? Let me know what you read in October, and I'll see you around. Thank you for watching.